And that business put me into like suicide. That business killed me, literally killed me, where I had to shut it down.
Tell us a bit about Ben King. What got you started and what's driving this passion that we see today?
I always say to business owners, if you don't want to deal with problems, don't run a business. It's just work out exactly what you need to hit each day. And for us, ours is £10,000 a van.
Shoot for the moon, because if you miss, you land among the stars.
Yeah. So these lions kept coming around, and I was like, it was like, keep going, keep pushing.
So we've mentioned the lowest. What's the highest point of your journey so far? What's been the real high?
I think my biggest high will be...
Today's guest has built a business from 0 to 10 vans and almost at his first £1 million turnover. He's also created a marketing machine in Verpa, and I've had the pleasure to get to know him behind the scenes too. So I'm really interested to hear all about his story. So Ben King, welcome to Working On It.
Thank you for having me on. I'm really excited.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. So for those that don't know you, which I'm sure they've probably been living under a rock, tell us a bit about Ben King. What got you started and what's driving this passion that we see today?
So from the start, really, I think it started having a daughter. I think having a daughter sort of grounds you and makes you realise you can't really muck about as much. So I think that's when I started to realise I needed to make something of myself for my daughter to grow up and be proud of. So for me, I was sort of renting a sort of studio room, tiny room, absolutely tiny. And there was an article in a paper for a window cleaner. I was just about to go into the army. So I was looking at going into the army because I had nothing going for me. And I realised, what was I going to do with my life? So there was a window cleaning article in this paper. I called it up and he said, come down. So I went over to Staines-upon-Thames and I met him, and he got me to traditionally clean the Chemist on Stainash Parade. And then I started sort of my journey with him. And I say it because it's probably not my business journey, but it was an employed job that started me off into the window cleaning world. Yeah. So I started to clean windows for his business, and then I started to really work hard in his company. And then he asked me to knock doors. I started to knock doors for him. And then I was like, blimey, I'm cleaning the work and I'm also knocking doors. Like, I might as well just go and collect the money.
Yeah.
So I realised quite quickly, and if my staff are listening to this, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
But that's
give them ideas.
Yeah, I know. I was like, blow, do I say that?
Yeah.
And then I realised, quite quickly after working for him for a few years, to quit, and that's what I did. I went off, got a bucket. I sold my Audi A3 that I had, which I was doing double glaze selling for to build up some money. And I went off and sold my Audi A3, got on the wrong train. I was supposed to be in Southampton. I went to Portsmouth. So I remember that, picked up my van, come back, got a free set of Vista business cards, and went off knocking doors with my ladder, my squeegee, my bucket, and just started to build up customers. And I really enjoyed knocking doors to grow it. Like, I got a dopamine. I've got ADHD. That dopamine, signing up a client every time was massive for me, because when I signed up a client, I had tears in my eye. I was like, blimey, this is actually working. Yeah. Like, I can actually build a business here. So I started one client after another client. And then all of a sudden it drives you because you've seen the round value go up. So every week I was like, well, I'm going to get 20 clients. Then I'm going to get 30 clients. Then I'm going to get 40. And it kept building and building and building. And then I got to a stage where I trialed different business ideas, and, went exterior cleaning, and then built that up to a certain level, and I just couldn't scale it. So I started to get that shiny object syndrome. So I tried other businesses. And I think we've all been there as an entrepreneur.
Definitely.
I think there's difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur. Yeah. An entrepreneur will constantly look for opportunity, where a business owner will just want to scale that one business, not look any further. And I felt like it was a bad thing back then. But now when I look back, I'm like, I think that's a good thing, actually, because I was always constantly looking for bigger opportunities. One thing I should have done when I was growing it is I should have concentrated fully my time on that and built it to a certain level where I could then hand that business over a team like I am now, and then I can concentrate on other business ventures if I wanted to. But that was the journey, and I rebranded several times throughout his lifetime, and went from On Point window cleaning, took on a business partner. He then sold the business to me, and then we moved into Faultless Cleaning and various other brands along the way, because I realised the brand just wasn't quite right. So I rebranded and just learned from my mistakes, and the branding just got better and better and better over time. And I think that's the vision of the business.
Yeah.
I've started to understand that. So I did that for many years, and then I met a friend of mine and set him up window cleaning and exterior cleaning. And then we realised we're working in the same area. Let's partner up, I think I did that because I didn't know how to scale.
Right.
So
okay.
So I didn't know how to scale.
You thought a joint venture.
Joint venture.
Yeah, both of us together and grow, yeah.
So we joined up together, and we would run multiple businesses under the VAT threshold because I was scared of that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't good because I got caught eventually.
Yeah.
We had Waste Brothers, we had a exterior cleaning, and we had a window cleaning company. Yeah. And we got collared for trying to, and we got a fine. I got a fine for it. I paid the fine, and that was the end of that. And then we joined everything together and had one company, React Property Solutions. We was best mates at the time, but we were so different. Like I was extremely driven, and I'm not saying he wasn't driven, but our mindsets were so different. So the partnership fell out. We fell out of friends after being very good friends for many years. We've rekindled that relationship now, and we're all good now. But I think partnerships, you hear it all the time. They're a bad thing. You've had it before, haven't you?
I've had it. Currently in one now. Hopefully that's going well. I have had one that went very sourly wrong. And funny enough, it was actually with my best friend from school. Yeah. And I kind of knew him, and we were like brothers. Yeah. But we had a business together for about 7 months. Yeah. And I was sure I wanted to buy this business back in 2007. And I didn't quite have enough money, and I knew that he had some savings. So he said, look, I'll contribute for a percentage of the business. And then those 7 months was like I was in business with a stranger. Yeah. The moment money came involved, it was like we were complete strangers. We was constantly arguing, constantly bickering all of the time. I was an early morning person. I like to be in early, get things done and get things started. He was a late riser, but then he would work into the late evening. And I'm like, well, now I had a young family too. Yeah. And I was like, look, I'm done. I'm now with my family. The answers you need, I'm going to have to give you in the morning. Yeah. So it just didn't really work. But then again, back then, in hindsight, I know it's like you take these lessons on board and you learn from them. Yeah. Looking back now, you think, okay, perhaps with systems in place, it would have worked. Yeah. Maybe not. Who knows?
And I really blamed myself as well.
Yeah, I think we do, don't we? I think we're always wanting to better ourselves. I mean, you know what? I'm going to take complete ownership and accountability of this incident. I want to figure out how I can learn from this and develop. Yeah. So I think we do that as business owners, certainly the best ones anyway. Yeah. I think.
And I massively blamed myself in that situation because I felt like I was leading the pair out of us. I was making those vital decisions on what direction we went and how we, systemize the business, where the business was going, what jobs we were doing. And it was great. We had some contractors, but I was working 7 days a week. Yeah. It was chaos. And that business put me into like suicide. That business killed me, literally killed me, where I had to shut it down, or was it like I'd be walking my dog and see myself hanging from a tree. It was chaos. Yeah. Absolute chaos. And I went to a day after Boxing Day, I think it was 2019. I said to my missus, I've got to go to hospital because my brain had just gone. Like I just hit rock bottom. Went away, come back. We went on a holiday. We got rid of React Property Solutions. We split everything, sold off the contracts. I went away, and when I was away, I think the biggest thing for me is why I respect King so much is when I was away, I kept seeing lions. So these lions kept coming around, and I was like, it was like, keep going, keep pushing. I was like, why do I keep seeing this? And lion wasn't my favourite animal. I don't follow like loads of Instagrams with lions and stuff, but I kept seeing it. And then when I come back from a family holiday, I made a decision to simplify everything, go back to basics, go back to what I started before, and I set up King's Window Cleaning. Before I did that, I had 2 brands in my name. It was Your Window Cleaner, because I've liked Your as like a signature logo.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a bit personal.
Yeah.
It's like Your Window Cleaner. 'Cause
Yeah,
I feel like
that's it.
a window cleaner is a bit like a milkman or a postman. It's quite personal. You know his name, you tip him, a bit like the binman. The
Yeah,
old school fashion
that's
way.
right.
So Your Window Cleaner was right on the cusp of doing it, and someone else owns that company now.
Oh, okay.
But for
What
me,
did you sell it to them?
nah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just seen I've typed it in a few months back, and someone's created.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I saw that brand, but I didn't go with it.
Yeah.
Because I saw the branding and stuff that we created with King's Window Cleaning was huge. So once we had created that, I was like, that's the brand. Like, that was it. And I've got little sketches at home when we first sketched it out, and the way that the branding's positioned on the vans and stuff, and everything. And the amount of feedback I've had for the branding from something we made is amazing. Like, you know, some of the window cleaners say it's the best window cleaning branding in that they've ever seen when we've gone to window cleaning shows. So it's amazing to show that from when I started my career, all these brand changes and change of logo and change constantly of branding got us to this position where now people are going, I love your branding.
Yeah.
It's one of the best I've ever seen. And I'm like, that makes sense to constantly change and make those actions. But we set up King's Window Cleaning, and I realised reading the E-Myth book, which is probably one of my favourite
Michael
books.
Gerber, yeah. Brilliant. I bet that blew your mind, didn't it?
Yeah, I was just like, okay. And then I watched the McDonald's film.
Oh, the founder.
Yeah, and when they sketch out the kitchen.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the Speedy Kitchen.
Yeah, Speedy Kitchen.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so now I need to do copy and paste.
Yep.
And I need to make that van, when I put that first member of staff in it, it needs to be identical to the next one, and then identical to the next one. Then the market needs to be the same, and the amount of clients we need. So I started to understand that. When we first ever put one of our guys in the first van, we'd started to do it. We got one of our guys, Stuart, and we took him to get his driver's license. And we paid for that as a company. It'd been with me with every business I had. And it's still with me to this day.
Brilliant.
10 years on, you know, how, I don't know. We've gone through hell together. But we paid for his license, and it was so, like, the woman that passed him was just absolutely nuts. It was so crazy how he passed his license is beyond me. But the first time we put him in his van, the first ever hour, he put the key in the ignition and snapped the key. No. The first time I stepped off the van to sit in the office to work out the next way we're going to get, he snaps the key. Yeah. And calls me, goes, Ben, I've snapped the key. I'm like, oh, no, what?
This is why I can't come off the tools.
Like, what has happened? Do I give up now? Do I just give up and clean windows myself and just keep it simple? We got it fixed. I think it cost us 700 or 800 quid. He snapped the key and the barrel, and we got it done. And then we started to get one van going. We got our second van going, and then we've always grown one van a year from 2020. So we set up King's Window Cleaning in 2020, and we grew one van at a time. We've always done that for many years.
Yeah, you said, one van a year.
One van a year. So that's how we've grown 2021 and gone
How many
forward.
vans this year?
So this, you know, because you've helped. But we've grown from 6 vans at the start of the year. We're now at 10. So we've put
4 vans.
4 vans, 3 extra working staff. So it's crazy how we've got from there. And I think our early stages, I've said it to you, is we built everything on emotion. I've recently said it in my content that I've done it a bit like Forrest Gump, leaving at the start of the year, buy wife and kids. I'm going to war. Yeah. Getting to the end of the year, I've come back from war. I've not lost any limbs. I've got another van and a little bit more cash flow and a little bit more money in the bank, and the round value's gone up a little bit. Yeah. But not really knowing how I've got there, not knowing how much I spent on marketing, not knowing how much it's cost me to get that round. This year, I've learnt within a space of a couple of months. Once I've got that clarity, I know where I'm going to spend money, and we've just gone. The last 12 weeks, I think we've just flown, and the growth.
Brilliant.
We're closing in. We're doing about £1 million a year now, but I don't call it £1 million business until the window clean round value hits £1 million. So at the minute we're at 77, 78. So we want to be at 83,333 by the end of September. So that's my push, and I believe we can do it. Yeah. But that's the big goal, and then I can say I'm £1 million business owner. Which
that's it. Yeah.
So that's sort of our journey from when I started, and there's probably a load more stuff in that as well that have gone on with staffing and everything else. But really happy with where we are today. That's for sure.
I remember when I first got to the first million, and that was all I was focused on, was just the first million. Once you get there, because I've heard that the first million is the hardest, everything else follows fairly easily. So I'm like, just get me to the first million. And I tried for about 3 years when I kind of really realised the potential that I could have done. So I thought, right, okay, then went up to like 650, then 8 and so on. And the year that I thought I was going to do it, I was short by 41 grand, and I was absolutely fuming because all that was just like one contract. And I was waiting for them to say, yes, I can get it started. Yeah. But it was just, I was absolutely fuming. So then the next year I went so hard in, I done 1.2. So I went way past the million. I was like, right, I was so annoyed. I was like, right, I'm going back to basics, read every book I can. Yeah. This year I'm bloody smashing it.
Yeah, getting it.
And then we done it for 1.2 that year. So it was like, but it was crazy, but it's just, you come so close. But what I then realised is you tend to slow down towards the finishing line.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things the mentors I had at the time. He said, no. He goes, go for 1.5. Why are you stopping at $1 million? Go for 1.5. Yeah. And that completely changed my mindset, because now I'm thinking, well, I've only got to get 40 grand to suddenly I've got to get 540 grand. Yeah. I better pull my finger out. Yeah. And I ended up doing 1.2. So I didn't quite get to 1.5, but I went way past the 1 million. Yeah. And it's like Les Brown sort of like shoot for the moon, because if you miss, you land among the stars. Yeah. So it's kind of like, why just shoot just today? You don't want that to be the end result. You want to go way beyond.
That's why we've put that goal way before the end of the year. So we always counted January to December, like for us. So like the end of September is where we've got it. If anything happens in between, we've got a 12-week buffer to make sure we do it. I said at the start on my content of January, I want to hit the £1 million this year. Didn't have a clue how it was going to happen. It was all going to be done on a feeling and emotion. Now, with the right calculations in place, I know exactly how we're going to get there. I've got the plan. I'm not even now I'm worrying about what we're doing next year. Like, I'm not even worried about how we're going to get there, because I know everything we've put in place, we will achieve it, and we've got plenty of room for us to be beyond that. So I think for us, we've done it, but not until it's happened. Like this month, last month in July, it was our first £100,000 month. Brilliant. But we were £600 short. So I said to you guys, I'm gonna hit it. Nah, £600 short. Yeah, so annoying. Should have aimed for 110.
That's right.
So that's what I should have done, because I was like, we got this. Yes. Nah, and it didn't happen. But and I said to
lesson learned.
Yeah, I said to Shane, our working GM now, I said to him, we didn't hit it, did we? I was like, nah, man, I'm gutted. Yeah. You know, but it is what it is. You know, you learn from that. Like you did the 40K. Yeah. You went. But yeah, it's one of those lesson learned.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the main things to take from that anyway. You know what I mean? So you've recently mentioned about you had a member of team that you thought was really good, recruited them, and in the end it didn't quite work out in such a short space of time. But you then put the processes and systems in place that the turnaround to recruit again was pretty good. Talk us through that journey, and why did you think that it didn't work out? And what have you learned from that? And also, what do you think generally in hiring staff in the industry?
I think it's hard. I think I've got better at it. You always emotionally, at the start, I would always think every staff member is going to be with me for the rest of my life. Like, what are you doing? We're a family. Yeah. Don't leave. Like, what is it? Like, what can I do? Because you always want to be the very best boss you can possibly be. And every year I want to get better, or leader. I don't like boss. I don't like that word boss. It's more leader. I want to be a leader and make sure the team are leading what I'm doing. But I think the biggest thing we learned is we took on this guy, and I won't mention any names. He'd tried to get a job with us 4 times. So the 4th time I went, fine, we'll give you a go. He came in, did a trial day, really happy, and he was a chef. So I thought maybe that would work out, because they're long hours, they're unsociable hours. I thought let's give it a go. It was a little bit out of our sort of what we look for, but I thought the chef side of things was a good thing because of long hours. So we took him on. He lasted about 2 weeks, and he had a panic attack, and we tried to walk him through that. I'm not too sure why. We haven't heard from him since. We made sure he was okay for the day. It didn't work out, and he left. He just said, it's not for me, Ben. No problem at all. Shook hands, and we had him paid, and he moved on to whatever he's going to do now. The process we hired within 36 hours. So we built the process out of how to recruit on Indeed, how to go through that whole process, step-by-step CV screening, what to say on the phone, tell the guy on the phone all the bad points a bit about the business first, to see if is this something you still want? Because this is the bad points. Now do you want to hear the good stuff?
Yeah.
Then we give them all the good stuff. And then at the end of that call, if they've answered a certain amount of CV screening questions that we've asked them, we'll do a reference if we can, and then we'll bring them in for a trial day. I think a trial day is a really good one because it gives them an idea of the business rather than just going, hey, this is your job on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You're giving them a bit of experience of what they can experience on a daily basis. And on that trial day, we hit them hard. Like, we do a longer day than we ask because we want to see if they're going to moan. We'll get them to ask as many questions. The staff member we put them with asks them loads of questions. We want to make sure he's right for the team. So we go through that whole process, and generally speaking, it's worked out pretty good. This year we've hired 3 guys. 3 guys, 1 failed and 2 have stayed with us. And then we've got 1 more starting on the 10th. So after that guy left, within 36 hours, we was able to hire again. So I think that process is so vital for a business, because I think a lot of business owners are so scared about employing because they haven't got a process.
Yeah.
If you've got a process, it just becomes a step-by-step guide on how to recruit. And those little tedious tasks, business owners don't do. And I've realised, as much as I'm like, that is so boring to build, when you get into it, you realise how much weight is lifted off your shoulders when it comes to recruitment now. So Shane, our working GM, he hired his first guy last Friday, and I generally didn't get involved once, except for taking the call, and it was on him to make it. So, and he's new in that role. So hopefully he's made a better decision than I did.
That's it.
But yeah, that process for me is just, a game changing really. And is going to help our business grow even further in the coming years, I'm sure.
And that's one of the things is like, so when you get to a certain stage or a certain size, you do have to step back from these sort of tasks. You can still look over the shoulder of the person that's doing it for you, and you can still check the processes and make sure that it's aligned with the company ethos and the company core values. But it doesn't mean that you have to sit there and do the interviews yourself. You could be out working on the business, thinking about the vision and how you're actually going to grow the business.
Well, it's the pun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So it's kind of like, rather than the day-to-day, but you can still check it at the end of the day. But I think that's what some people struggle with. They think, well, I've got to do these interviews. I've got to do that. And like you said, if you take some time out, it's real 1 step back and 4 or 5 steps forward, isn't it? You write down the process of how you would do it. Yeah. The scripts even, you can go right down into depth into the scripts as well. What to say. Yeah. I know in my business, it's sort of like it's exactly the same. I haven't done recruitment for ages, and sometimes I don't know whether it's rightly or wrongly, but sometimes I go out on site and I've got some people walking around in aqua top, and I'm like, who's this guy? You know what I mean? And I'm like, and they go, oh yeah, that's the new guy. He started a month ago.
Worth putting their name back in their
As a month ago, I said, oh my god, okay, right, yeah, sorry, Marcus, what's his name? He goes, that's Stephen. Okay, fine, that's Stephen. How you doing? And but I think when you get to a certain size, it's not saying that you're out of touch, but it's just sometimes you just don't have a control over that. But I trust who I've put in place to do those, because they've done it so many times. Like Shane will for you. Yeah. He will follow the system that you've put into place. Encourage him to give you feedback on what you've put into place. Say, actually, I don't think that aligns with the King's way. Yeah. How about this? Okay, do you know what? Actually, I didn't even think about that. Perfect. Yeah, Let's do that. Yeah. And then eventually it just settles down. So eventually Shane is well rehearsed in that role. Yeah. That when you grow even more, and Shane's like, why am I still doing recruitment? Get so-and-so to recruitment. Here's my process. Pass it on to you. Yeah. And so it's constant growth, and it's setting it up whilst you're at the size that you are now, that you can do that. And it's just amazing, I think, with the processes and systems.
Making those changes as well. I think listening to your team is a big thing. Yeah. Right? Because you think as the leader, some business owners, I'm not saying they all think they know it all. For me, I don't. Like going out for us once a month, listening to the negatives and the positives of the business really help you fine-tune the business further, and listening to your team of like, this actually doesn't make us any money, Ben. Like, why are we doing it? Well, why didn't you tell me sooner? Well, you're busy, I'm busy, there's just never the right time. But you find one thing that I've learned, that monthly outer meetings, we went out for, some dinner the other night with a load of them, and I got loads of feedback of good points and bad points. And now I'm like, cool, I can make these changes, and then it's going to help the business grow further and more profitable, and everyone's going to, earn more money. So I think listening to your team is a big one. They're not just robots. Don't just have them come in and do that job and not have them say. Trust your team, and if you've hired correctly, they're going to come up with some amazing ideas that are really going to help the business grow. And I think that's one big thing that I've learned over the last couple of years is listen to the team members a little bit more than just going tunnel vision and doing it your way.
Yeah. I get asked the question a fair bit. I don't know if you have the same too, but getting off the tools is always a big thing. I think it's a VAT threshold and getting off the tools. These are the two big things when starting out. What, in your opinion, or perhaps your experience, do you think you have to have in place to finally relinquish it and just get off the tools?
It's a hard one because I was always very hardworking. So I would always be on the tools and think that was the right way to drive it forward. Eventually, I did want to come off the tools, but I probably stayed on the tools a little bit longer than I should have because every time we put on a van. But I would say the VAT threshold is something I was scared of. But the way to get around that is just work out exactly what you need to hit each day. And for us, ours is £10,000 a van. So you just need to make sure that 20%, you can put your prices up by 20%. But there's a lot of companies are too scared to put their prices up. But if you need to get past that VAT threshold, you've got to do it. But then if you're going to put your prices up 20%, then the standard of that business needs to rise as well with it, because then your clients won't leave. But I think it's more, people get scared of the VAT. I don't think you need to be. Like, you really don't, not if you've structured it right. But it is a hard one. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. For me, we just went for it and pushed through it. And because I didn't really know my numbers, we just carried on going forward and then just went through, we winged it, you know, and maybe that's not much advice to give to anyone.
I think most do, to be fair.
I just literally just went, we're VAT registered now, that's it, let's just go forward. And then that's, you know, and stuff. But I think it's hard with the VAT threshold. And getting off the tools, if you're coming off the tools, I think it's a big transition, because when you come off the tools, you don't know what you're doing. You're a bit lost because you're so busy working, manually doing the work. When you come off the tools, you don't know what am I doing now? So you'll be sat in your office or your kitchen or, you know, wherever you are on your kitchen table, like, well, what do I work on? And I think having that structure when you make that decision to come off, you need to know what you're going to be working on. Is it marketing? You know, because that's your biggest thing. Now you need more sales to get more staff. So you need to be working on that marketing. You need to be working on your systems and processes and stuff like that. So I think when you come off the tools, it's hard because you need to have that structure. And many business owners, when they do that, they don't have it in place. And I was one of those. I would sometimes be lost, like I'm doing nothing productive. And I think working out on a Sunday evening, what you're going to do that week really does help you get a lot of stuff done. But that's my take on it. And whether that helps, I don't know. It might help someone. It might not, you know?
I mean, I think one of the things as well, just to add to that, is when you get off the tools, you're now going for a bigger role. So let's say, for instance, if you was at a company, even, it doesn't have to be your own company, it could be another company. You've gone from the operative to, let's say, a manager or a leader or management of people. With that higher role, you have to develop the skill set to take on that role and to fulfill it as well. That's the thing. You can do it and you can wing it, but I think after a while, certainly with people, they will find you out. They will know that you're winging it. And I think you have to be open to self-development. You've already mentioned that you read the book Michael E-Myth, and all of the other stuff that you're doing as well, to constantly self-develop like yourself all of the time. I think you have to be open to that. I think those that are sort of like a bit reluctant to develop themselves and take on more knowledge, I don't think they're limiting their growth with it. I think you have to accept that. I think that's one of the biggest things. Is like when I came off the tools, it was like, okay, I mean, I was fortunate enough to have a business coach help me get off the tools. But at the same time, he said to me, right, now go on for this course, now go on for that course, and now read this book, now read that. So I did have a bit of guidance, but looking back now, it was almost like I had to raise my game. Because I'm now going for a bigger role. You know, like you think, okay, it's my company, whatever. You think, well, no, like you said, how are you going to fulfill your staff and make them happy and attract the best staff? To prevent you from going back on the tools. Because if it all go and you've got this work, you're going to have to go back on the tools soon.
And it's really hard, like, especially in my business, like the hardest point, 1 to 3 vans is like the worst part. Like, it's the hardest part. You've just taken on 20% VAT, your accountancy bills go up, your marketing costs go up, you've then got to take a pay cut because you was earning all that great money, but now you've got to pay all these additional bills. So from 1 to 3 vans is horrible.
Yeah.
But once you go beyond 3 vans, it starts to get a little bit better. Then 4 vans, then 5 vans. And I found 5 and 6 vans were lovely. This is...
Now 10.
Now 10, you're like... And this year we grew by masses and it had its strains and stuff. But having systems and processes... most vital part, and knowing the numbers, like having an amazing accountant, which we've now upgraded. We've still got our bookkeeper Sarah, who's amazing, but we've now upgraded to a new accountant who is now going to give us that clarity. I think in the industry, I think in every business, I didn't realize that, and an accountant is probably one of the most top 3 things to have in your business, because they're a bit like a mechanic, right? And I say that because you never know, did the mechanic change the oil on that van? They said they did. They invoiced you, but did they actually change that oil? And it's a bit like an accountant. Are they actually doing everything they possibly can to save you money and have your business as efficiently run? And they should be advising you to their knowledge, because that's why you've brought them in. And I think for me, an accountant, mechanic is definitely one up there. You know, we've got good mechanic now on the vans, but it definitely, those little things there really do help your business massively.
And that's all building relationships though, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things, is building relationships to help you grow. And the network, of course, you know, just expanding the network. So
Yeah, I only work with people that I trust.
yeah.
If I trust you, I'll work with you. But you give me one reason not to trust you, I'm off.
Yeah.
And I'm off to the next one and taking my business elsewhere, which hopefully having that sort of attitude is kind of a bit cutthroat, but it needs to be in business, you know.
I think so though, because how can you work with someone you don't actually trust? I think that's quite hard.
Yeah.
You know, so you've so you obviously got your GM Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's taken some data operations from you.
Yeah. So he's kind of replacing me. So we took on a service coordinator this year.
Yeah.
And Karen's been amazing. So she deals with customer service 100 times better than me. With my ADHD, I'm like, one sentence, no problem.
Yeah.
Karen's a bit like, hey, Mrs. Jones, no problem. I hope you're having a lovely day.
That's it, yeah.
I'm just not that person. So I can see that straight away. And customers are already saying, oh, you're so good at this, Karen, you know, and I'm getting all that good. So Karen's come on, she books all the work in, she deals with new and existing customers that come through. And she really does take I would say probably about 50% of the workload off me, or 40% of the workload off me. And then we brought Shane in as a working general manager, who's really someone wants the responsibility, and I can trust him. You know, he looks after my house when I go on holiday, he looks after my dog, he looks after my business. I'd be probably pretty lost without him, you know.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but he's amazing, and he's taken that role on. He's in his 20s, but you know, I've really worked hard with him, and he takes on anything that I say, and he knows the self-development that I'm doing, and he knows everything I'm trying to do is just training him and teaching him to go the right way. And he has some amazing ideas, and it's worked out pretty well. We do the handover next Monday, where 80% of my time for Kings Window Cleaning is going to be handed over to Karen and Shane and the rest of the team. And then that 20%, I'll just touch base with them and get involved if there's any serious issues.
Brilliant.
So then I can really work on the business and where we're going to go in the next 5 years, or 10 years and stuff.
So what does a day today look like for you now and your ops team today compared to 6 months ago? So take us back 6 months. What would your day have looked like at the beginning of the year?
Fixing vans, booking in the work, putting out fire after fire after fire. Yeah, I mean, it could start at 6 a.m. and it could go on till midnight, if not beyond, you know, because I was doing everything. I was scheduling the work, booking the work in. I was doing the marketing. I was doing so many of the jobs, you know, buying a van, doing everything within the business. And I think a lot of businesses, they hire like a PA or a service admin administrator or an office manager, in my opinion, far too soon. Because what they don't do is learn what they don't build processes and systems on the back end before they hire someone. What they do is they go, hey, here's my business, just go and look after it. And they walk away and they go to the golf and they're like, oh yeah, I've got someone doing all that for me now. But I didn't think like that. I thought, let's go and find out what I need to put in place. And I built all the processes. So then when Karen come in, I did a week's training with her and then just left her to follow the process. And it allowed me then to work on, right, how do I replace the rest of me now? But I think a lot of businesses don't do that. And I think you can hold off. You might be screaming like, blimey, But I think if you haven't got the processes and what that person's going to be doing, she's going to come into the business. She's going to be as confused as you. And if you've got no clarity, she's going to quit. And that's the worst thing, because all of a sudden you've then got to recruit. So for me, I think holding out as long as you can for an admin person until you've got that process. If you haven't got that process, don't hire. There's no point. You know, it's like when you hire a window cleaner.
It's actually a workload, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
You've now got 2 people to look after.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're hiring that person, and the team have got used to that lady in the office.
Yeah.
And they really liked her. And then all of a sudden she's left because she's got no, you know, you're not giving her any clarity of how the business runs. So I think it does help sitting in the office for a certain period of time to build that out. Does that make sense? And that's my take on it, really.
And now? So what does it look like now?
It's quite peaceful. I'm hoping. Once Shane and Karen take over, yeah, it is massively. We've taken on a lot of work this year, so there's been some growing pains and stuff. And we upgraded our filtration system, which was huge. That was a week from hell. Even you.
I
reached
saw the
out.
video on that. Yeah.
Even you reached out. You okay? But I haven't seen any.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I haven't seen you for a week, mate. Where have you gone? You
To
know?
be fair, to our context, we do talk as well, other than on Instagram. So I hadn't heard from you for a while. So I was like, okay, let me check in, make sure he's all right.
Yeah. So I just had and it was one of the hottest weeks we'd had.
Yeah.
And that transition. But generally speaking, I won't. If you ask me in 4 weeks' time, I'll probably go, it's heaven. You know,
good,
because I've put all of this in place, and I can sort of leave the business to still run, still grow, hit all the revenue, hit all those KPIs that we're going to put in place.
Yeah.
So in 4 weeks' time, it'll probably have a different answer to now. But for now, it's a little bit calm. I'm switched off, airplane mode on the phone, and
Brilliant.
the team are looking after everything. So yeah, it seems I've got a lot more clarity and vision of where we're going by the end of the year as well. So which is good.
Brilliant. Well, that's exactly where you want to be going, isn't it, really? So it's definitely the right way. So what would you say up to this point? I mean, you've been on quite a journey, certainly in the last sort of like 4 to 6 months, isn't it? It's been an incredible journey because you journal it every day. So, which is brilliant, by the way. I love that. It's so good. But what would you say out of the entire, not just in the last 6 months, but your entire sort of like entrepreneurship or life as a journey so far has been the lowest point, the most testing time?
React Property Solutions.
Yeah?
That fears us, like my Cole, who was my business partner in that gives us, I've still got the Instagram account because it's one of those businesses that beat me, but I want to go back for it.
Okay.
So I've kept the Instagram for it. And every time we talk about it, and we talked about it at a barbecue recently, come round with the family and the kids and stuff, we talked about it and we still laughed. It's like, oh, that business killed us. Yeah. Like, it literally killed us. So that was my lowest point, like mental health hospital, all of that physically, that killed me. But I needed that.
Yeah.
To get to where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I think every business owner needs that. Yeah. You need to go there to then come there. And I when I sit back here now, I laugh about it, but I needed that. I would take that again. And part of me is like, give me that again. Yeah. Because what it did to me is create King's Window Cleaning, you know. And without that in my journey, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. It's probably sat here and hitting the £1 million goal, which we added.
So what do you think, like, so take us back then, at that lowest point, what would the Ben, if I met you then, what would I be seeing in the person then, at that point?
Absolute madman.
Because I mean, right now you look all relaxed, freshly trimmed.
Yeah, I mean,
nice and sharp. You've had lunch.
I mean, absolute madman. Like, I mean, I would be working like 18, 20-hour shifts. Like, I'd have calls at like 2, 3 in the morning. Like, it just chaos. There was no structure. But we went from owning a window cleaning company to having a business that was doing like $500,000 to 750 grand a year. Like, we just was given like 80 grand for 100 grand projects every month. So for us, we was taking on all this work, and I was a yes man. So I was like, yeah, we can paint. Yeah, we can do plumbing. Yeah, we can do 10,000 bricks. I remember doing a 10,000 brick job where I watched a YouTube video on how to do it whilst we was on site. I didn't really priced it, and then just took 2 self-employed builders and went, right, we're going to clean. We had one bloke cleaning 10,000 bricks, labourer, for like 5 days. I made great money on it, but the risk, you've got a risk. And for me, you know me, I take action, like, and change. Like, if I know something's got to change, I'll do it that night. I'm like, hang on a minute, that's got to change. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to change. So I think back then, I was an amateur business owner.
Yeah,
didn't know too much and dodged the VAT man. And yeah, I don't know.
4 different companies.
Yeah, 4 different companies and ducking and diving. And, you know, you turn up at my house. I mean, one night I had a water system. We lived in an old cottage. And through COVID, we had a tank of water outside the house. And we used to filter the water. So the guys used to come down the dead end road and transfer the water in. And this was when we had React and we had Windows. Yeah. And one night we had Thames Water turn up with stereoscope to hear the flowing water.
Oh, okay.
But we didn't have a water meter at the time. And we kind of bypassed the meter and I got caught for it. And they were doing that. And my dog went crazy. I come downstairs, I open the door. He goes, you got running water? Is someone having a shower? I said, yeah, my wife, she's at the hospital. Yeah. She's working. And, oh, I'm sorry, all the best. Yeah. I got rid of it. I rang my plumber, mate. He come back round the next day and said, mate, we've got to plumb it incorrectly now. We can't bypass it anymore. So he plumbed it back in. But yeah, you would have probably got a little bit of a Del Boy Ben.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the freewheeler that I've got now has come from.
Oh, I saw that. You still got that, haven't you?
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
So maybe that's what you would have got, is a bit more of a Del Boy Ben, ducking and diving Ben. But now everything's legit. So we're paying our VAT, we're paying our water bill. But yeah, you would have probably got that a little bit,
I think one of them things is when you start a business, you do have to say yes to everything, because there was one thing, I was also doing a few things when I first started. I had a company called 21st Century.
Okay.
And that was my first company.
Yeah.
And then whenever I was doing bits and pieces here and there, they were saying, Brad, what is it you actually do? I said, anything that goes on an invoice. That was literally my saying. Anything that goes on an invoice. But I think at that stage, though, you're just eager to earn money, but also eager to offer a service and help people.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my drive. Was I want to build a business, but I want to help people and literally try and do something and solve problems for people. And I always go back to the Richard Branson thing, isn't it? Say yes now and figure out how to do it after. Yeah. And you think, whatever, he's done pretty all right with it.
It does work. It does work to a certain extent.
He had a strategy behind his whole thing, and it worked out pretty well for him. But
I think you have to say yes, and you have to, and it's action, right? Can you do it? Well, let's just see if we can do it. Right. If it doesn't work out, we'll learn something from from it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be foot forward. You can't just wait for the perfect opportunity. And so many people, I speak to so many mates who own businesses, they sit there, they think of a great idea, we talk about it. I'm like, go and do it. They don't do it. And I'm like, why? Why have you not done it? Action it. Come on, let's just get it done. Yeah. And that's me. Like I'm the guy you call up if you want something doing. Yeah. I will go and do it. If it's painting a wall or a business, I will set it up. And the amount of times I've set up a business within 24 hours, and my mate's like, this geezer's off his head.
But do you know what? I done a post earlier about speed, and it was like I've been fortunate enough to be around some quite successful people, certainly of late, like the last 4 or 5 months, and even got some guests lined up as well. Can't say just yet, but I've got some really high, for me, really, really high profile guests who have agreed to come on. But the speed of which they react to things and act upon things, like there's one guy sold his company like tens of millions of pounds. Like he doesn't have to speak to me, but literally the moment I message him, yes, when? I'm like, oh gee, hold up. Do you know what I mean? I'm like messaging him like dates. I gave him like 10 dates. He goes, right, that date, here's my email, send it over, book it in. What's the address? I'm like, within a couple of minutes of me just inquiring, he's agreed it, come on, booked in a diary, give me his email. It makes me react. I thought, Jesus, I better not let this guy down. I've got to do the same. Yeah. And within like 5 minutes, it's booked, podcast studio's done, finished. But the speed is just incredible. And that's one example, but I've seen it so much recently. Yeah. And I'm like, and these are all like James Martin, as we know, do you know what I mean? Like, the speed of which I messaged him the other day, and like within 5 minutes, 3 video voice notes come straight back and with answers to everything I've asked. I'm like, Jesus, the speed. And like we said, like Rob Moore, like whenever I message Rob Moore, it can be any time of the day or night. Even on a Sunday, I always said to him, listen, Rob, don't come back to me just yet. I know it's Sunday, come back to me tomorrow, whenever. couple of minutes he's back.
Yeah.
I'm like, the speed is just crazy. So I think there's a lot to that, you know.
I'm pretty certain James Martin said he clears all his emails that
Yeah,
evening.
that's it.
And I'm very similar to that. So when I could resonate, because I don't like my inbox. I like it cleared. Karen and Shane, if you're watching this, you know, because it is my...
Make sure it's clear by the time you get home.
Yeah, I like it cleared.
Yeah.
Like if it's after 5 o'clock, it's done. We'll deal with it in the morning. But before then, I like a clear inbox. I like a clear desk. I just like that. It's just something that really irritates me. So for me, at maybe 9, 10 o'clock before I'm about to go to sleep, I'll check my inbox to see if there's anything I need to clear up for the day. So I just feel like you're ahead of the day.
Yeah.
You're ahead of the day because you don't want to wake up and have to deal with that, plus whatever other fires are going to land on your desk.
Exactly.
So for me, you always have to keep yourself. And I answer stuff straight away. I'm very similar. I just feel speed is the biggest thing. If we didn't move this year, we wouldn't have grown by 3 or 4 vans this year.
Yeah, imagine if you were sitting on the thought of actually getting like external advice and all that lot, and actually coming up with an idea and then just sitting on it for 6 months.
Yeah.
But you haven't. You've acted upon it immediately.
Yeah.
And now here you are 3-4 months down the line, 3-4 more vans than you actually expected to have by this year, and the year's not even finished yet.
No.
You know? So, I mean, but that's speed, isn't it? You know, like 12th van coming by December.
But this is it. The speed does definitely is a big thing.
I've noticed it more myself. And it's just like the action takers. And that's, I've mentioned it to you a few times. I'm like, you're just an action taker. And I think that is just the importance, or one of the secret ingredients to success of any kind.
Are you very fast at answering emails back? Or have you just started to action that since you've started to see that from different...
I used to be very similar to you. I liked an empty box. It was like a zero inbox by the end of the day. It was like every day is like 0 inbox. And then the emails got so much that I just couldn't do it. And then I end up getting like my assistant Jane as well. She's in, so it's kind of like helping me with. She now runs a lot of my.
Delegated that now.
Delegated it, yeah. So I have a folder that I deal with,
Yeah.
Which now makes it more manageable for me.
Yeah.
But then what I'm finding is my WhatsApp messages and my social media messages are just suddenly just gone through the roof. And now I have to somehow figure out like how to system to keep on top of that. But then I know what you mentioned about James Martin. He clears these. So now I have made a conscious effort of, I have like WhatsApp time, social media time, and I just clear everything off.
It's hard with social media messages. Like from doing the daily content that I do, I find I get so many messages.
Yeah, I can imagine you.
And I don't want to seem rude, but if I answered every single person back, I'd just get another inbox.
I voice notes. Voice notes. It's the best.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Even to ChatGPT, I will voice note to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And then send that to someone if they want it, if I think they need it in a text. I will voice note everything, completely. I think texting now for me, or writing, it's a bit outdated, but yeah.
So we've mentioned the lowest. What's the highest point of your journey so far? What's been the real high?
I've had many highs. I've had many little wins. I think for me, the biggest high, it's just a hard one because I've always broken down into van goals. I think my biggest high will be the window clean round value at 83,333. When that hits that on the monthly, that'll be my biggest win, like massively, because it's been a big goal. But I think my biggest, if you think about biggest win, was probably get my second van on the road, and then the third, and then the fourth. So I think that's probably my biggest win, because you start to realise it's working. It's copy and paste now. It's working, that van. And then, so I think along the journey, I could never sit there and say there was one big win. You, as a business owner, you have multiple wins, right? It could be revenue, or it could be vans, or staff, it could be anything. For me, I've just had lots of wins. But I think the biggest one for me was when I put my second van on the road, and then that worked, and then the third. So maybe the second or third van was probably one of my biggest wins in King.
Because then you kind of know that that what the systems you put in place are actually working. Like you say, it's a copy and paste. It's a template, isn't it? It's second van and the third van. Yeah. And then when you see success from that, you're like, the sky's the limit.
This is easy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
So I know that when you say you're going to do something, as we've already touched on, you will stay up all night.
Yeah.
Get up very early in the morning, work weekends non-stop until it's done.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from, that drive?
I think proving. I think younger years in school, not knowing who I was. bullied, all of those things. And then friendship groups, not knowing what friendship group I sort of fitted in. So for me, I was a bit like, how, where am I sort of, where, I think all of that combined together, those low points, they give me the drive. They give me the drive to move it forward. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, I'm going to show these people, you thought that of me. And it's kind of, first they laugh, then they watch, then they copy.
Yeah.
And I've got it on my Instagram. It's one of my first posts. And I love it because it's the truth. Because they laugh. When you're doing the content, they laugh at you.
Yeah, you should put that post out again.
Yeah, what's he doing? Why is he doing that? But now it's like, this is me. And love me or hate me, you're still going to watch me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. And there's so much negativity. And I'm such a positive, and I was quite negative myself years ago.
Oh, really?
Because I was around that. So now I cut it. If you're negative, I move away. I cut that straight away. So for me, I think the biggest thing I can say is the drive comes from those early years of bad times and proving that you're going to be a better business owner, a better father, whatever it is. And I think you have to have that drive. That you have to prove. And for me, I've had to prove it. So those low times I love now. That's what's made me who I am today.
Well, as you said, the react you'd happily take again, wouldn't you? Just because of the experience.
Just because of the experience.
Yeah.
I put myself, I don't know whether you've ever seen the film The Accountant.
Yes, yeah.
Where he gets the stick and he runs up against his shin.
It's
not Ben Affleck, is it Ben?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
It is Ben Affleck. Yeah.
And I've always joked to my friends, and they've always said it.
You don't have a wooden stick, do you?
No.
I can imagine you.
No, but that's what I say to my mates. I'm like the accountant. Like I'll go in and, but I feel pain evolves you as a business owner. You have to go through pain, and going through that you'll become more resilient in business. Like your first staff member quitting, that hurts you. Like it does. So when they quit, you're like, I've not felt that before. But once you've had one or two or three, you don't want to have too many. You've got to be your bad business. Yeah. But once you start going through those experiences, they just make you more resilient, and you become a better business owner. You become a lot more chilled in those reactions. So then when that happens, you know how to deal with that problem better. So I think pain is just part of business. And I think I always say to business owners, if you don't want to deal with problems, don't run a business.
Yeah.
Go and work for someone, because that's what you're going to be dealing with. If you're not a great
every
problem
day,
solver, every day, and that's for me. So I think, that's where the determination comes from.
That's good.
Stuff in my younger years that pushed me to go, this is who I am, and I'm gonna do it. And you see people that follow you now who put you down, or just thought you was a no one. Now all of a sudden they're following me and they're liking my stuff and that's good. That's nice. It's nice knowing, you've changed your thinking of me. You actually think I know something.
That's it. Yeah. There's thing was Grant Cardone, is it? He goes, I need some new haters. He goes, because all my old haters are starting to like me now.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So when people say bad things about him, he goes, oh, good. He goes, I need some new ones. He goes, because the old ones starting to like me now.
I like, what I need.
Yeah, brilliant. So just on the thing where you mentioned about the staff, I get what you mean, by the way, because I've had some members of the team leave my company, and it really cuts you deep. It doesn't. You put on. I put on a bit of a brave face. I'm like, okay, fine. We've done all we can. Thank you very much. It's been a great service, and you've deep rooted your foundation of Aquamark. Thank you so much. We are today because of what you done for us. And then when they leave, it troubles me for days after, or it did, and now it gets a little bit easier to bear.
Yeah.
But what it does is it gets to a point where
you don't know their name, do you?
Yeah. So it's kind of, it gets to the point we don't know the name. But what I mean is, it gets to the point where you set up a business, so you set up an organisation, and you do it with the best intentions, and you set up all of the systems and all of the culture, and you want, I believe, a place where people can become their best. Yeah. And it's you want it to be as comfortable as possible of an environment for them to really shine through, come forward with great ideas, and if there's any problems, they can have the comfort of coming forward and sharing them with you. But there gets to a point where you can't please everybody, because if you try and please everybody, you please no one.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've realised, certainly in the last 12 months for sure, because it was years, Ben, before anyone left Aquamark. It was unheard of.
Really?
Nobody left Aquamark for years. And then all of a sudden one left, then another one left. And I think there's about 4 left last year. And it was like, 5 left last year. But all these were people that had been with me for years. So it was like, everyone that stayed was like, what the hell's happening? Is Aquamark crumbling? What's going on? I said, no, we just need some fresh blood. But really in the mind, I'm thinking, bloody hell, what's happening with Aquamark? You know what I mean? We're crumbling.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, I've got a good bloody company.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they've exceeded everything they wanted to do here.
Yeah.
I can't offer them anymore. Yeah. So let me shake their hands. Say, okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bring in new people that you can grow.
I think as a business grow, fresh blood is needed.
We have a strategy towards it. Once in a while, like I've got a couple of managers now. I'm like, when you shake up a bit, who should we get rid of? Do you know what I mean?
That is savage.
No, but if we get a couple of people where the complacency steps in, you think, right, not everybody is bad blood. We've just got one guy that's really dropped it and we can't offer him anymore. No. So let's bring him in, start the disciplinary process.
Once that happens, then the rest of the team go that
way. They hear about
it.
It can be in different divisions.
That happened recently.
Doesn't matter.
We lost a guy that had been with us 4 or 5 years, and it was a challenge for the last 12 months. We tried to work with him. It just didn't work.
You can't help everybody.
When he left, we brought in new blood, and you just saw everyone's spirits lift because he was bringing everyone down.
Yeah.
All the other guys were having to babysit him, look after him, do his additional work, and it just didn't work out.
Exactly.
But I think, bringing in fresh blood does definitely shake it up.
It really does, and it kind of just brings that fresh look on things, and people get a bit excited, and we've got like a WhatsApp group with all the guys. So at the moment, I mean, we've recruited quite a lot recently, so constantly seeing new people added to group, new people, and some are experienced, some are literally just brand new. They're green, they're just learning their journey. We never window clean before. We just bring them in, nurture them, but it just brings excitement. They're seeing all these new numbers constantly being added to the group, and you're like, blimey, we're growing. Yeah, because don't forget, when you get to a certain size, not everybody gets direct feed into what's actually happening in the company. Yeah. Their way of, if they're looking at the WhatsApp group and they're seeing these people leave, that's a negative. Yeah. But they're seeing people come in, that's a positive.
Do you feel, I was speaking to Chris Archer about this, on a buddy? So when you have a new staff member, because as the business gets bigger, right? When you get a new staff member, he goes through the training and stuff, but then he deals direct with a manager. And sometimes you don't really want to be like jelly with a manager. Yeah. You want to kind of want someone on your level that you've been. Do you think sometimes it'd be good to have a buddy? So someone you report back to, he did your training. Yeah. He makes constant, how are you doing today, mate? Gives him a call. How was your day? Do you think that would help churn of staff and also settle them in? Because you've got some guys that are not so confident.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, definitely.
So we've got one guy that started with us. He's amazing. He's a little bit anxious. He come out on Friday night and one of the blokes said, he was a bit anxious and that. But after that evening, he really settled in and he feels really part of King's Window Cleaning now. Do you think having a buddy like that would help with recruitment? And so, because you're getting larger and larger. I don't know how much staff you've got.
Yeah, I mean... I think it's about 41 or 42
That's
now.
What I mean.
So yeah, so
you could find.
I think a guy called Philippe just joined us just today. I saw it pop up in the group, and it's like, I think that's 41 or 42.
41, 42.
Yeah.
So you're going to find staff that kind of get lost a little bit. So maybe a buddy system where they sort of find someone that's a little bit similar to him.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
So what we do is we got the mentor pack. It's a 12-week onboarding system that we have in Aquamark. It's the Aquamark mentoring pack. So I don't know if you know, but in McDonald's, like you referenced McDonald's earlier on, they have the one way. So it's the one way to cook a hamburger, the one way to cook a cheeseburger. It's only one way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So ours is the one way to onboard or recruit people, onboard them, bring them into the fold at the organisation. So if you have to review how well they done in 12 weeks' time and you give them their final review and you take them on or you don't, whatever it is, because you've got that 2-year short contract term, haven't you? Although that rule's changing in January, so soon it'll be immediate as soon as they come in. It's actually changing. Why they reckon the employment will drop even more because the government's changing the rules. Yeah, so anyway, up to this point, it would be up to 2 years, like short-term contracts. So but we have a 6-month probation period. Yeah. So we feel that in order for us to best evaluate them and also for them to understand we might not be the right fit for them. So we want to give them the best opportunity of growth and the best opportunity of really excelling in our organisation. So we come up with 8 core areas that they get evaluated on every single day. And we have that 12-week mentor pack. So every week they sit down with their mentor, and we pay the mentor to mentor them, and they get an extra like a bonus every week in their wages, and to mentor people. So they sit down every Friday, have a coffee, whatever, for 20 minutes, half an hour, and it's got 8 key areas, and they mark it 1 to 5. What 1 lowest and 5 highest, and then there's a box at the bottom, and they put in their notes and, okay, this is what we feel you can improve on, etc. And every 4 weeks they have a management meeting, so they come in our boardroom and they literally sit down and we review the last 4 weeks, and also the mentor reports back to us any concerns, anything like that, like what you experienced on Friday, and then that goes on for 12 weeks. So they would have had every single day being mentored, once a week review, sat down with their mentor, sat down and reviewed it 1-to-1, and then they would have had 3 management meetings off-site, in the boardroom, with 1 or 2 of the managers, and then that's and then after that, it gives everybody a real good bit of information to evaluate: are we the right fit for you, and are you the right fit for us?
Blimey, okay.
And that's all logged, and also because they've sat down weekly with their mentor, they have an input on it. If they disagree with something, they say, well, actually, no, I've done that, blah, blah, blah. So the idea is, the key thing is if they get a 1 or a 2 at the beginning of their first weeks on one of the 8 key areas, fine. Most people do. But you want to see growth as the weeks go on. You want to see those numbers going on. If after 10 weeks, that number is still a 2 or 3, you think, okay, perhaps they're resistant to being told what to do, or perhaps they just can't understand what's going on. But you normally pick that up after your 4-week or your 8-week management meeting.
Blimey,
so you
it's a serious process then.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So we have like a recruitment process, interview process, and onboarding process. It's like 3 stages. The onboarding day, I've always wanted to make my onboarding day a massive deal, and I always just say, like, I want all of their uniform in the office wrapped up nicely for them to come and collect. I want all their equipment, whether it's rope access, BMU, warfare pole, whatever it is, whatever equipment they need. I want everything freshly boxed, and I want it all. That's a big deal for them. They're nervous. It's their first day, so we train them on the 9 areas of like health and safety training they have to do, and then they have they go through every system, and I've got the managers of each system, like HR, health and safety, operations. Dan does the mentor pack and the vision book that we've got, like tells about Aquamark and where we're going and the whole journey.
It's a lot there.
It's a whole day. They're in our office for the whole day.
Do you go that deep because of the level of health and safety that is required to do your...
No, because when you get a good person running your company or in your company, it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, okay.
If you get a bad person, it can really cripple you with the costs.
You want to find out within...
I want to give them the best possible opportunity. I want to make their entire experience a real delightful one. I want to surprise and delight them. The moment they come in, they're in the boardroom. Their pack is waiting for them on the boardroom table, and then they're sitting in there. We give them all the teas and coffees. They go upstairs for the cafe for lunch, all on us, the whole thing, and then they literally go through, and everyone blocks in. So I used to do the vision book, which sometimes I still do, but Dan does it for me now. So he would sit there for half an hour, go through the entire journey of Aquamark. Right. So therefore, it's given them the best possible start. So if in 12 weeks' time it's really not working, we know that we can walk away guilt-free knowing that we've done the best possible thing. Like all of our skills, resources, everything has been involved in it.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like any relationship.
We want to do it right from the start. We want to have no regrets.
You want to find out in the first 12 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Before they're in there 6 months, 9 months. And
yeah, exactly. Okay. So, but it's not about me. So, but I hope that helps. I hope that helps.
I've learned something there, because I'm like, they come in, we give them a week's training, we send them off.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, right, that's it. We need to change that.
I must caveat that that we
only did that this year.
No. We've been doing that for a few years, but we're fortunate enough to be of a size where we don't really count them as a mandate for a fair while. So we want zero pressure on them. Yeah. So we say, look, the team that they're going into, if they've got zero experience before, because talent can be anywhere. You can go and get a coffee and the way they're greeting and customers. You're like, I want that guy working for me. Yeah. And you got zero winning clean experience. Have you done that before?
You've gone into a cafe. And
I've had a barista. One of my best workers, best guys I've ever had on my thing was a barista. One of my longest, all most of my guys. My longest serving guy was he was a car valet guy, and then he went into what's it called, delivery driver on a motorbike. He had a motorbike accident, and we wanted something solid. So I was like, okay, come in, join me. But I just knew his eye for detail was immense. I've had a demolition guy like Borak. He's been with me since 2000. John's been with me since 2006. Borak's been with me since 2008. Dan, my main manager now, he's actually my PT. I was PTing with him for 2 years, and I was like, I need this guy in my team. I need this guy in my team. And I literally, he's been through the entire journey. All of them have a whole journey. Right, and it's been crazy. But
so all the other businesses,
you just spot talent.
You've just nicked their staff, basically.
Yeah. It's talent, isn't it? Talent. I do always say, go back to ask your current manager, what is the maximum possibility or opportunity I can have here? Yeah. And I give them, I say, right, if you come with me on day one, you will earn this, and this is all what you'll get. And I always do like an entire, I do them an offer. So if they come in and I would do the interview process, and like you send a proposal, like you send a proposal to your customers. We send a proposal to someone that we really want to recruit. So I give them, it's about a 4-page document. I email it to them, WhatsApp now, and it's got everything, what we expect from you, what you can expect from us, and then their salary, the perks, everything, the whole thing. Do you want to join us? And then they then say, well, I don't think everyone said no. They've always said yes. Yeah. And but that's what we do. And we say, look, this is our proposal. Speak to your current manager or your current organisation, see what they can offer you. And then we've never said, everyone said, but no, they can't even get anywhere near this, Brad. We want to come and join you.
Do you find this is easier at your level because of how much more like office staff you've got now? It's harder at a lower level.
Yeah.
Now you're able to, these are stepping stones, right? So someone doing $500,000 and has got 3 or 4 staff, it's impossible for him to.
Yeah, but if you can understand recruiting the best staff, it's going to get you to that goal quicker. Yeah. So start it right.
Start it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there should be a certain process to onboard him.
Think about what would really surprise and delight you if you were to go and start a business or start an opportunity in a business right now. Yeah. You'd like, well, I'd love to go and meet their manager. I'd love to go and meet the owner. I'd love to understand where the company's going. Yeah. What am I joining? What am I buying into? Yeah. Okay, right. Let me do that. Let me answer all their questions right away.
Yeah. I've had a few mates of mine who are in the window cleaning industry, and they've sat there and interviewed and had people come in and do trial days for like 3 weeks. They've still not made a decision.
Yeah, that's a lack of systems.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you can't wait any longer. For me, I'm like, hey, if we like what we've got on the trial day, we'll just do it. Actually.
Yeah, but you're a fast decision maker though as well.
Yeah, and I'm trying to drum that into Shane now. I'm like,
which is a good thing, by the way.
Make that decision. You make the decision. If he's not right, you don't think he's right for us. If you've got any doubt, let's wait. Yeah,
there's no point kicking the can down the road. If he's got concerns, out because you can be concentrating your time on a better person.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so I was. Have you ever heard of the book North Star Thinking by Will Polston?
No.
Okay, great book, by the way. You must read it. It's brilliant. So he explains the North Star as your one whole purpose of life. Okay. And he says that the North Star should be like emptying the sea with a spoon. So therefore, it's pretty impossible. But like the ship analogy. So basically, the North Star is the one shining light. So if a ship gets lost and its compass goes down, the idea is follow the North Star, and then you know where you are. And through rough seas and calm, you know where the North Star is. You know where your direction is. You know where you need to be heading. Yeah. So what's the one big purpose? So with that, what's your North Star?
What's my purpose of where I want the business? Where I want the business, or where I want the?
Well, it's whole. As we discussed this before, Ben. Come on,
no.
The business feeds, Ben King.
Yeah. So at the minute now we've got clarity on the business, which we've been working on with the numbers, and the growth's shown that. We're in that stage now. The next stage we plan for will be our North Star of where we want it to be. Now, is that 1 hub, 2 hub, 3 hub, 5 hub, 10 hubs up to 100 vans? Be the Pimlico plumbers of the window cleaning industry is really the ultimate goal. But does that fit into my family's lifestyle and vision of what we want to do? Because doing that, I know full well that's going to. So the next, for me, it's either we grow one headquarters and keep putting vans on the road until it's impossible to do so, or we grow it to multiple hubs and maybe get that up to 100 van fleet, and that's our sort of ultimate goal. But that's something I'm working out. So maybe on the next podcast I can do with you, I'll have that North Star.
Okay.
I'll know exactly where that vision is and where we're going. But at the minute, we're still working that out, because we never knew we could grow by 3 vans this year. The vision this year was 1 van.
Yeah.
And we've done
I totally get that, because I'm in a bit of a transition at the moment with my own North Stars. I've mentioned to you before, because sometimes you get an awareness, or someone opens your eyes, or you see something, you're like, actually, that's perhaps 6 months ago, 12 months ago, you think, no, that's not really me. I'm miles away from that. And then all of a sudden, someone brings some sort of awareness to you, or you read a book, or you watch a video, or you watch a film, or something, thinks, actually, I'm not that far.
Yeah.
Now it just completely changes your trajectory completely, because of it.
And that's what's happened. Having you and Chris Archer as coaches has opened my mindset. So really, you've messed up my North Star.
Oh, thanks so much.
in the greatest way, because now I know what's possible. That's really messed up where I went. My vision for the business was 10 vans. It was always 10 vans and done. I told everyone who was a window cleaner, who I speak to on a regular basis, 10 vans and done. That's not it.
No,
that was just, No. But now I've met you guys, and we're moving the way we're moving. That vision I'll know by the end of the year where that's going, and having stepping away from the business will allow me thinking time to figure that out and find my North Star.
Brilliant. So, a couple of quick fire rounds.
Okay.
Here we go. So, what do you think is the one thing that every window cleaner gets wrong?
Pricing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think pricing is a big one, yeah. I think pricing is a big one.
Undervaluing or over?
Undervaluing. They want to scale when they've not priced high enough to cover the VAT or taken on a staff member. So if you're, it's okay if you want to stay self-employed, but I would say pricing is something a lot of window cleaners I've seen, especially with customers that are using Verpa, will get their pricing sheet, and I'm like, whoa. They want to scale with staff. That's not going to be possible. And we have to ask them, hey, I think you should put it up 20% at least. Otherwise you're not. So I would say pricing is definitely up there. That's for sure.
Okay, so something you're addicted to that's actually good for you.
Oh, business. I'm addicted to it.
Love
to
that.
it. Absolutely addicted to it. I sleep and breathe it every day.
Yeah.
I really do. I wish I could switch it off, but I can't. It's in your blood. You either are an entrepreneur or you're not.
Yeah, definitely.
You're one yourself. Can you switch it off?
Oh, no chance. Yeah, no chance.
So, business is my addiction, that's for sure.
Brilliant. Well, there's worse things to be addicted to anyway, isn't there? So, yeah, it can't be too bad. So, what does business look like in 5 years for King Window Cleaning? And Verpa. I mean, we haven't even touched on Verpa.
Yeah, we haven't touched on Verpa, yeah. So that's a big thing, yeah.
Yes.
So, for Kings, I'd like to be at 20 vans or second hub.
In 5 years?
In 5 years, yeah.
You've just done 4 vans in a year.
I know. But this is where I'm like, I don't know at the minute. I'm a bit, but yeah, this is where I don't know. You guys have messed this up for me. You messed me North Star.
Pass the blame.
I'll pass the blame there. I mean, I don't know. Every year is so different, right? Because your mind just, I think in business, once you achieve it, you're like, how did I do that?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, you get shocked, right? You was going, we just want to do London.
Yeah.
Right? National.
Yeah,
now what do you want to do?
Global, yeah.
So mindset change, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So your confidence has just changed. And that allows you to open your mindset to grow even bigger. So in 5 years' time, I'll give my goal, like a goal is there. That's where... But if I'm above that, I'm happy. So bite-sized goals for me, it'd be great to be at 20 vans, which I think is possible.
Yeah, definitely.
But if I'm way above that, happy days, I'll take that on.
Yeah, I reckon you will.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we haven't touched on Verpa, sadly. We'll have to do another one. Yeah. But so where can people find you?
Ben King Founder on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So that's where they can find me. I do daily videos on my journey, and it's real life. It's me in my office, what I'm working on, what mistakes I'm making, and how I'm progressing forward. And I think it's really good. A lot of people watch it on a daily. I'm a very positive individual, so for me, I'm always constantly pushing that needle forward and learning from my mistakes. But I think if you watch it, you will learn what I'm doing and hopefully take something from it. So that's where you can find me, Ben King Founder.
Brilliant. Well, Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I actually come across you some time ago because of those stories that you put up every single day. And what I loved about it was just like the authenticity of it and the rawness of it was just, and it really resonated a lot with me because I'm like, Jesus, it's like exactly how my journey started. And like everything you were saying now about the staff, the vans, the equipment, you think, oh my God, I remember all those days. It's brilliant. So it's almost like I'm reliving it again through you, which is absolutely amazing to watch. So just carry on what you're doing, mate, and you're going to absolutely smash it. And thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you, Brad. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No worries. How was that?
Fucking fearful, scary shit. God knows, it's scary shit.